let's do a skid steer safety video for just you guys out here. We're talking about global and local clock, close to 0, close to 1. What type of mod are we using here for, yeah, I mean, paint you a pretty picture here. There's a special reason I come here. This is something we've been touching on lately here. In my class, we've been staying to calc class 115 or wherever we're living today. It's all 111 leadership conversation. As soon as the clock starts globally like that, given certain lines on wave functions and 0, not 0. Depending on how you're graphing it, it would look a certain way in the output of the code. Just more zeros, 32C or hex, and crazy way it does. So again, I don't want to just specify the computer list. Let's look at this from the sociology point of view and psychology for a minute. What did Summon and Salt here do that's very special to the describing a world record run on physics or Penrose's twistor theory value, breaking it down? Go check the divergent models and timelines that would be adjusted into this system of real local clocks, global clocks, and other things that, man, a Brachiosaurus build that thing is. Can you get any tighter in there as a test?
But a few years ago, that wasn't the case.
So I think you did good. Even if you don't have a speed record of your own, you got this going for you.
And break the game in ways previously unimaginable. This is Super Mario Bros. The Human Limit.
I think you did amazing here. So we've been touching on it a couple of times. The same free particle wave or particle physics class 2, same diagram up here, NTF in the corner, sunshine come down and get you on that level. I like Bowser in the middle. What do you think about Princess Peach while you jump in the obstacles and doing your stuff? This is why you're doing it, Mario.
First, a few basics.
Kind of the shadow problem, why the whole
Mario
thing.
Bros as fast
Once you're playing the game, you don't think about Bowser until the last level. The boss at the end is much arbitrary behind that. Forward, up, A, B, A, B.
Warp to 8-1, then play 8-2, 8-3, and finally 8-4.
So if somebody did something on a timeline, that's when that number comes in here. 2 frames, 3 frames, that really start to break that down to their particle spin direction, how that's why the fastest gravitational line. When you think about these guys competitively doing it, you're like, oh, well, there was some crazy thing, and you could have done that hack throughout the whole entire thing. Well, there's calculably reasons why you want to do the double jump very particularly at very specific places, because they force multiply to get you Toad to do the double jump, where normally you need Luigi, where you can pick up a shell and run it faster, right? And that's that same type of glitch that's different. It's the same thing. It's a standard mechanic. Toad maybe just picking up the mushrooms, not supposed to run fast like that, but they ran it and said the base rule of gravity works that way. And so once that's programmed in like that, it gives you a frame advantage inside here, describing where that bus is, right? You would say, all right, so that's zeroed out. You're right. If frames on the clock globally work that way in training for beta U models, anything that comes off the line here, just talking about raw physics, not necessarily a player or a exact subject matter directly.
Essentially, Super Mario Bros. Only checks.
You're gonna get into a few of those complexes and
or every 0.35 seconds. So in every stage, you can only gain time in
now, again, if you look at the warp whistle and how it plays and the metaphysiology,
so I'll let him explain it to you.
Imagine that this little castle that Mario walks into is not a castle but a bus stop. And imagine that in the Mushroom Kingdom,
you got to design a test that takes
very
more time to break than it does for you to design it quickly. So Mario Maker is the limit, and it's looking at calculus to what the standards are. You just put in regular physics in there that seems normal, but you wouldn't necessarily adjust into, well, Evel Knievel has to get up in the morning and get his paycheck run and call people and do things to even make the up down, whether it's up and down or a flat line from where it's relatively at,
So the goal is to catch the
That
same bus as a perfect
if
run.
this was a pipe, there's a temperature
This
difference
frame
here
roll
and a
system
temperature difference
applies in
here.
every stage except 8-4,
Because it's not one
where
ideal
timing stops
element,
immediately
one ideal
upon touching
particle or
the axe.
situation where that
And so,
applies. It
getting the
kind of
fastest
has a
possible
difference
frame
between
rolls
the
plus
first
the
day
frame
it started
perfect 8-4
and the
puts
last
run
day in
at
the mill or something like that, where
454.26.
your shadow problem can
Now,
kind of be
let's go
somebody
back
else's
to
Bowser about
2016.
Princess Peach
This
sometimes.
sum of
If it's
perfection
the
at that
truth
point
tree
was a
on
frame
that one, and
slower.
it says
But for simplicity's sake, we're just going to keep
5
it at
o'clock or
454.26.
whatever.
That was the perfect time. This sum of best
Well, you're
that
gonna tell
humans
me
had
the whole
pulled
thing
off
is a load on an operation
was
at this for putting the bus in
457.01.
there?
2.75 seconds behind perfection.
I don't know.
That time difference came from the
I don't
fact
know.
that
We
on
could
each
do
of the
other
7
operations
levels
they do that.
before 8-4, the best
That
humans
was
had
Larry's
done
move in the
was
mill.
1 frame roll behind perfect. No
Whatever
more, no less.
Mikowski and
Humans were
Spaceline
off by
or
1 frame roll in each stage.
Planck value,
The fastest ways humans
delta,
could beat stages
lambda,
usually
change in
involved just
field,
running to the end as
lambda
fast as
works
possible.
that way is
There were some tough tricks,
how that
yes, but the task frame rolls each
carbon
involved doing
index of
something
a
extra.
company's
Clipping into blocks,
overall
doing frame
costs
perfect
on
maneuvers,
labor,
all
materials,
tricks
and then
that
you look at the
humans
pie
didn't
chart,
know
no
how to
materials, a
do.
lot of diesel running
One
through
of these
here,
tricks in
you go looking for
particular
the
appeared
equipment,
over
track
and over
cat,
again in the
what's
run.
its clock service time, it's either leaking or given the operations where you timed them, not necessarily functionable to the ones and zeros that's got to go into this. And that's generally what you get when you're on that metal like this.